Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Amigos, amigas, bienvenidos, dear friends, to Lima, Peru, and also to this series that we started several weeks ago, dedicated, of course, to the most important sites, touristic sites, archaeological sites, museums, natural destinations in this country called Peru. So, in today's occasion, we will be start another series, a new series dedicated to the wonders of the north coast of Peru, and also, well, we will travel back in time, to learn about, well, the ancient societies that lived, that inhabited that part of the country, which is also one of the toughest zones to live in, even nowadays. So today we will see also a bit of the geography of the north coast of Peru. And if you were with me, accompanying me during this series, since the part dedicated to Cusco, we had also 4 events dedicated to Cusco, 5 events dedicated to Lima. We had 4 events dedicated to Ica, 4 parts also to Arequipa, and you want to also be able to see maybe the missing parts, the parts you were not able to see. Please consider becoming my subscriber on Patreon. I have there the full library of all of these events. Most of them are over 1 hour long. So, well, and the subscriptions are very accessible. I have a tier of $2, $5, 10, and $20. So, gracias for your participation and also for being today here live with me. Hello, hello. So, are you there? Are you still there, my friends? Can you see me also? Sometimes the internet is not my best friend. And I think today is one of those days. So, you're back. Yes, of course, I'm back. So, Annette, do you see me? Like, is it any better? The image, my also you can hear me. Can you? And I'll also start sharing again this screen. Hopefully, the other part, the previous part, is saved already. I had to disconnect and connect, reconnect again. So, well, now let's go back to our event. Gracias, Annette. Thanks for the thumbs up. So, over there we can see the departments that today we will be discussing about, and especially their natural attractions. Because in today's, let's say, part dedicated to the North Coast, we'll talk about the nature of this part of the country. So, in the first image, you can see on the left hand side, we are going sort of like in order from, let's say, the most southern department of the 4 we will be talking about, and in direction to the north, pretty much in the limit with Ecuador. So yes, it was stuck on buffering before. Oh no. Well, I hope it's getting better. But if again you find any issue, Annette, please let me know. Thank you, Miga. Thank you. So the Department of La Libertad is also one of the most populated of the country, actually the most populated after Lima, with over 2 million inhabitants. So it's a really a busy and also productive location in the country. There are lots of factories in the north part of the country, And certainly there's more development in terms of opportunities in that section of Peru. Also, the agriculture is very important in that region, in that section. So in the picture you see below, there is an approach into the territory that belongs to this department, La Libertad. La Libertad means the freedom. And this department is associated also with the independence, and it takes a very important part also in the history of the independence of Peru, the independence from Spain. So most of the department has an Andean territory, but also there are several rivers also going along the coast of this department. There are four very important rivers in this part of the country. Next department is Lambayeque. Lambayeque only has three provinces, but historically is one of the richest territories in the country in terms of pre-Hispanic architecture, like the existence of pyramids there is fascinating, as well as in La Libertad. So these two locations, the Department of La Libertad and Lambayeque, are rich sites in terms of archaeology and tourism interested in archaeology. So you can see how in that section of the country, the coastal flats are getting wider, and also more fertile, more productive. The biggest difference in the north coast of Peru is the temperature. The climate is much warmer, and they have a little bit more rain than in the south part of the coast, but still they are not a jungle. No? So we are considered all the country, basically all our coast, desert. No? So, well, the next department is the Department of Piura. And Piura also has interesting characteristics. No? Like, for example, we have different estuarios in that location, which are like lakes that are formed quite close to the ocean. And in those lakes that are sort of like bodies of water that have a little connection with the sea, there is an exchange of like sweet water or fresh water and salty water. So there are interesting characteristics in terms of the fauna in that location. And there's also a desert, very important, the desert of Sechura, which is in the bottom part of the department. And next, we can see and the last one also, the Department of Tumbes, in the tip, on the point of the north coast of Peru, and Tumbes limits, of course, with Ecuador. And Tumbes has a bit more of rain during especially the times of El Nino phenomenon. There's a lot of precipitation in that section. And lastly, also, the climate there is more like tropical. Okay, so most of the cities we will be like seeing or talking about today, and also the upcoming days, are at the sea level. For example, no, the city of Trujillo, which is the most important in terms of the economy in the north part of the coast of Peru, is just 34 meters above sea level. No? The cities of Chiclayo, Piura, 29 meters above sea level. So they are lower even than the city of Lima. And Tumbes is just 6 meters above sea level, 20 feet above sea level. So the north coast of Peru has as a characteristic that still is influenced by the Humboldt current. And here I am sharing with you all some images about, well, this current of water. This is not a wind current, by the way. It's a current of water that comes from the Antarctica, and it goes northwards from the extreme south of planet Earth, parallel to the coast of Chile. Then it turns west, a little bit northwest, when it reaches the territory of Peru, the coast of Peru. And this Humboldt current, which is also known in Peru as the Peruvian current, is a cold current of water, has influence in the whole coast of Peru, and almost in the limit between Ecuador and Peru, it turns to the direction to the west, and it continues its way until, well, the Polynesia. So, and finally, it returns to the south. So it goes in a movement, sort of like against the clock movement. And this current is also very relevant in relation with, besides the climate that I already mentioned, also the fauna that we have in the sea. All the sea creatures that we have in Peru are influenced by this cold current. What this means? It means that in most of the country, we don't have a species in the sea that live in warm waters. We don't have those. But there are some exceptions in the country, and those exceptions, places where we get fauna that needs, especially in certain seasons of the year, need the warm waters to subsist, to exist, or in their natural migration like movement. So we need of that sort of like a let's say like union of currents in that north part of Peru for us to have those species. No, so what is the other current that exists in the north part of South America? No, because we have Humboldt current, one of them, called current. So the other one is known as the Nino current or equatorial current. And that warmer current that also affects, well, all Central America. It affects Ecuador, Colombia, Central America. It goes up to like Mexico. This warm current of water like creates let's say like a climatic let's say a situation in which, for example, there's more rain in that part of the world. It's more tropical, and the waters also have different biodiversity. So, well, in Peru, in the limit between Peru and Ecuador, the two currents sort of like meet. They sort of like get to, in a way, like mix. Of course, each current continues its own route, its own march. So, well, in that location where these two currents meet, and also several kilometers away from mainland, from the continent, is located, well, the famous islands of Galapagos, which belong to Ecuador. And there are species in the islands that are adapted, of course, to that, let's say, special climatic condition that sometimes can be seen closer to the coast of Peru. And I'll show you like which interesting like specimens we can see in this part of the country, in this territory that is indeed much more warmer than, for example, well, the waters in front of my city of Lima. By the way, we are supposed to be getting into the warmer days, and I'm back with my jumper because today is again a chilly day. So, well, we have to be prepared for the sunnier days coming ahead. So, well, we can see here some pictures of these creatures that also, most of them, are endangered species, or they are close to be endangered. And the touristic activity developed around observation of species like the ones we're about to talk about, has also been developed since for many, many years in the north coast of Peru. But we are not one of the biggest destinations yet for this type of observation. Also, I really hope that more people can give the opportunity to the north of Peru to plan trips dedicated to observation of, for example, hunchback whales. And the two pictures on top are well, about this gigantic animal who visit the coast of Peru, especially the north coast of Peru, in the middle of the year. Also, between the months of especially August and September, these are the months when the hunchback whales come over here, and they come with a mission. Their mission is giving birth. Well, they are escaping in this season from the cold winter of the Patagonia region. And also, I had the pleasure of traveling to Patagonia some years ago, right after the world pandemic, and it was incredible seeing them. Well, their dimensions, how big they are, also, and knowing that the whales that we see in the coast of Peru, in the north coast, are basically coming from that location. No? So they give birth there in the north coast of Peru. They, of course, taking advantage of the warmer waters. They stay with their babies for some time there, and then they return home in the south of the continent. So, well, now another animal, another creature, this fish. This is the biggest fish that exists in the world, is the whale shark. The whale shark is as big as the size of a bus, of a school bus. And these animals also are, well, they are rarely seen, of course, in the coast of Peru, because they prefer also warmer currents of water, but those are also visible in this part. They are more like visible in Galapagos, for example, in Galapagos Islands, that belongs, as I said before, to Ecuador. And they have been also installed some, like, let's say, like tags to to check on their movement in the sea, to we say rastrear, or just to verify like which ones are their movements and where they are going. And of course, they reach the coast of Peru, but sadly, there are also recent news about well, the possible hunting of these, or fishing of these gigantic creatures, no, the well, shark, and probably for, well, the Asian market, because they are considered to be also a delicacy for Asia. So that's why, well, the numbers also are endangered. And we have sea turtles here in this part of the country, and there are also tours organized. This is something more like recurrent. This is something more like already established in the country, in the north coast, to see the turtles and also to swim with them. Everything is big in the Galapagos. Yes, yes, I know, I know. I have the dream of one day visiting Galapagos Islands, even though it's such a close destination to us, for example, Peruvians. But Galapagos Islands is probably one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive, touristic destination in the entire continent. So in South America, well, Galapagos is definitely expensive. Probably, if we can compare one more destination, which is not actually, let's say, that common to be visited, a site that, even though belongs to the Polynesia, basically, it is controlled by a South American country. We're talking about Rapa Nui, or Easter Island. And Easter Island belongs to Chile. Mhm. So, well, both are very, very expensive destinations, especially for Latinos, no? But, well, we have at least a chance to see in the north coast of Peru, well, these
fauna. No? And also, I have some other creatures to share with you. For example, we have dolphins, and those dolphins you can see pretty much along the whole coast of Peru. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you can see them on a tour to the Ballestas Islands in Ica. So they are, let's say, more adapted to the cold waters of this part of the territory of South America, but also um, animals that we don't see really in this location are porpoise. Also, I would love to see them. They look pretty much like dolphins, but they are a different species. So they are also one of the highlights in that part of the country. Hammer sharks, hammerhead shark. That's also another one that is highly, let's say, requested as part of the tours in that location. But as I said before, they are not commonly seen because it depends on the season. And it depends also on the number of these species that are in the Peruvian seas in that time. No? So also we have in that part of the country reefs, but unlike the coral reefs, ours are rocky reefs. No, they are not of coral like the ones for example, in Asia or in some other beaches around the world. So fishing in Peru is very important, especially in the north coast of Peru. And well, the North Coast has a big variety of fishes. So I was also reading some documents about the varieties of fish in the North Coast of Peru. 70% of the fishes, of the varieties of fishes that we have in the country, are in that part of the territory. And that might be related also with the possibility of finding in that portion other like colder waters and also warmer waters. So you have the chance of having fishes from both currents, the Humboldt current and the Nino current or Equatorian current. So well, you can see here some products of exportation. Mahi mahi, which we call perico. I also posted the names in Spanish if you wish to know how they are named locally. Shrimps are langostinos. Langostinos we have like in ceviches and in Peruvian paellas. They are really tasty. And this is a product also of exportation. Well, shrimps are usually sort of like grow in controlled spaces. No, they are not just like taken from the open sea. No? So there is a harvesting, I think, I don't know how it's called properly, but a raising of these shrimps in controlled environments. Also, the coast of Peru, and in particular the north coast, produces lots of fish meal. That is like purine, like purine for animal consumption, so of the highest quality, and also fish oil. Well, the fishes that are, or the fish that is the one used the most for producing this fish meal is the anchovy or anchoveta. Well, we have an abundance of anchovies. Anchovies are very, very small, but they eat plankton. And we have lots of plankton in Peru thanks to the Humboldt current. And well, the also anchovies are the primary food for many, many fishes also in this part of the world. Scallops, and that also reminds me some scallops with cheese on top, grilled, delicious. And also black clams. Black clams, they are used in a ceviche, delicious ceviche of black clams that is typical from this region. It is served with onions, very very little chopped, and also it's a hot spicy dish. No? So well, at the end of this series, I'll share with you more about the food. Well, we have jack mackerel, locally known as jurel, Peruvian hog, or merluza, giant squid, pota, and that is a product also for exportation, and chopped mackerel, or caballa. So, and we were talking about the ocean, and now it's time to go to the coast, and to see some of the well, sites that you can see here in this part of Peru. So we have excellent beaches. Some of them are known as the like most exclusive beaches, with residences of the super rich of Peru. Well, I selected for you this one, Punta Sal. Punta Sal is a zone of retreat for the super rich of Lima. Not everybody can afford, well, having a hotel, or renting a hotel, renting a house in this location. And most people, well, from a picture, they guess that this is a picture taken at, I don't know, the Mayan Riviera, or the Caribbean, no? And no, this is in Peru, no? In Tumbes. That's the northernmost department of the country. Well, another famous beach, this time in Piura, so we're moving south a little bit, is this one, Bichayito. Bichayito is also, well, an excellent place for surfers, and also for travelers, for tourists who just want to, go to a place that is a bit more affordable than Punta Sal. There are lots of excellent hotels, villas, and um, all inclusives also in this part of the country, between Tumbes and Piura. And not all of the coast of Peru looks like, like a paradisiac beach. We also have zones that look more like rocky. Like for example, here the name of this location is Puerto Eten, and the cliffs there are impressive. No? Actually, when I saw the first time, well, this site, because I haven't been able to visit Puerto Eten yet in person, it is definitely in my list of sites I want to see, and enjoy, especially. So it came to my mind immediately the cliffs of Lima. No? There are lots of zones in the country, in the coast of Peru, that have cliffs. No? But also something curious that I've discovered recently is that there are people also doing different sports in these cliffs, and probably the people that you see in the pictures up on top is they are about to probably like do a descent from the top. It is called rappel. So the rappel is basically going down with, I mean, like cords and with security, all kinds of security also possible, and you need to know also to do this. But well, it's a really fun activity for those that enjoy well, adrenaline, and also enjoy experiencing sites like this one, in this way, in this alternative way. So Puerto Eten is located in Lambayeque. That's the other department, going sort of like southern. Annette says everything is. Sorry, I already read, I think, that one. But indeed, yes, well, some of these creatures that we just saw are indeed huge, huge, huge. And also, well, when you go to the north coast of Peru, well, you definitely have to include beaches and more beaches. But as you go like southern, the temperature of the water gets chillier, gets a little bit colder. Um, but still, like if you are someone who loves, for example, surfing, well, anywhere in the country you can have the best waves, or just relaxing over beautiful white sand, and being served the best food in the world. Also, that's a good reason, two good reasons to come to the beaches here. but not the only ones. No? We are not really a destination only of, like laying your back in the sand and relaxing. No? So we have lots more. So we have, for example, here a say important landmark in the department of Lambayeque, and this one also is a reminder of the active, let's say, like a economy, or that impulse also the improvement of this department in the 19th and early 20th century. The plantations of sugarcane and cotton as well improved the coast, the north coast of Peru, promoted also the appearance of trains, and railroads in this part of the country. And sadly, the industrialization of these territories didn't really continue, was not supported as it should have been. After, let's say, some reforms that took place in the 1960s, 70s. So, for example, this train stopped working. Also, the train doesn't exist. And you can see the train in the picture on the right-hand side, on the bottom part. So there is a train, but the train is above the sea. So you can see the ocean there. So, and on top, and also in the big picture, you can see, well, this dock, which is known as the longest dock that we have in Peru. So, well, this dock also allowed the train to get inside, well, the ocean, or on top of the ocean, and in that way, well, the ships that were docked next could receive the products in a more like easy, effective way, loaded by the employees of the train company. So, well, this is also one of the highlights. Sadly, no more train anymore. But now we're moving south. We're moving to the department of La Libertad. And in La Libertad, we have the favorite beach among surfers. And this beach is Chicama. Chicama is nowadays a protected beach, like internationally is protected by regulations that control basically, well, all the activities that happen around, well, that bay, trying to avoid any disruption of the current, the natural current, and the way how it impacts, well, the coast. And we sadly had learned the the bad way, that just one little change or modification on the coast can destroy, well, the nature of that site, can destroy, in this case, the waves. And we had, well, for example, here very close to where I live in Lima, in the nowadays district of Chorrillos, several years ago, well, we had a fantastic beach that it was known as the top number one beach, that existed in the central coast of Peru, La Herradura, or Shoehorse Beach, because it had the shape of a U. Okay, and it had excellent, like, waves. People could surf there. The beach had white sand. It was like a paradisiac beach. The jet set of Lima used to go there, to swim and to spend, well, the summer. And in the 1980s, well, a mayor from that district decided to open an access between that beach and another beach that was behind. There was a promontory, a rock, that divided, well, that beach and the bay of the beach, right? And, well, another bay. Okay, so this very smart mayor decided to promote, well, the appearance of the opening of a gap. And there was a section that was dynamite. There was an explosion that took place, and indeed, well, a segment was open. Not enough to create an access to the other side, but that, just that explosion deform completely everything, destroy the current. So the current that had, well, excellent waves for surfing didn't exist anymore, or don't exist anymore, no? Disappeared. Also, the sand in the coast was completely eaten by the water because the water was no longer controlled. The intensity of the waves were no longer controlled by that, element, those few meters really of rock that were detonated. They were not stopped anymore there. So all the water came in the beach, eating all of the sand. So what we have now, well, an ugly beach of stones. It's a rocky beach, which is very dangerous also. It's quite strong. Not everybody can come inside to swim. So, well, that's how you destroy a beach. And for a long time, many associations of surfers were trying to defend the beaches, and their waves also as patrimony, natural patrimony of the country. And the first beach that was protected was this one of Chicama. Look at these waves, one after the other, after the other, after the other. How beautiful view. The maximum length of the waves, and by the way, the waves are also named Chicama, this wave. The maximum length is uh, 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers, but the average is 2 kilometers. So imagine 2 beautiful kilometers of wave, guaranteed for the surfers that come to this location, one after the other. So is the longest left wave in the world. And we have it now protected. There were projects to create docks over there, and to like detonate some other parts of the coast over there. And now they are all stopped. So also talking about surfing. Oh, sorry. I have here some information in front of the surfer. I hope it's not ruining your view. But surfing is also very important activity in the coast of Peru. No, surfing is an activity that also moves the economy of many surfing schools, tour guides, specialized people, vendors of the wetsuits, vendors of the surfboards. Well, this sport came to Peru in the 1940s, thanks to men of, of wealth, that was also the reason how he was able to travel to Hawaii, and also um, learn about this sport in Hawaii. He learned it in Makaha Beach, in Waikiki Beach, also there with the experts. Carlos Doñi Larco. Carlos Doñi Larco. By the way, the name Larco, his second last name, also indicates his procedence, his wealth, his heritage also. The Larcos are known as one of the most renowned families in the country. One of the descendants of that family was the creator of the famous Larco Museum here well, originally in Trujillo, that later moved to Lima. So, well, Carlos Oñi Larco was let's say, a womanizer of those days, a playboy of those days also. And when he, well, was able to see this sport of surfing, he was transformed by this sport. And he knew his stay in Hawaii wouldn't be long. He had to return to his businesses here in Peru, and he decided to bring a surfboard, a longboard to Peru. So the first owner of a longboard was this man, and he started to practice surfing in Peru, as I said before, as a sport. In Miraflores, here in Lima. But later on, more people continued also with this the sport, and most of his friends, of course, also equally rich, started to purchase also surfboards. And he also founded a club, and there are also many clubs nowadays in Peru about surfing. So, but long story short, in Peru, our love affair with the sea, with Mother Sea, is very old, and it can be traced back to the pre-Hispanic societies, to societies like the Moche, for example, or the Chimu, which in the next event also I will be explaining in detail. So here you can see how, well, nowadays, of course, these are actors or fishermen that are playing like the pre-Hispanic men of the coast of Peru. Well, this is how it's believed. They're sort of like raft boats made from totora, or a reed, local from the coast of Peru. Well, how the appearance of those used to be, and also, well, the appearance of these um, probably fishermen, but also seems that in some special occasions, some priests also got into the sea and probably had a special communion and let's say like ceremony done in the ocean. Okay, and the descendants of those fishermen from the pre-Hispanic times still live in the north coast of Peru. This is a picture from Huanchaco in the department of La Libertad, city of Trujillo. And Huanchaco is famous for its caballitos de totora. Caballito means little horse. Totora is the name of the reed, the local reed. That well, it's only used basically is being turned into the material, the prime material, to prepare to produce a rough a boat. And this is the way also in the little picture how men, also women, but mainly men, basically, because traditionally fishing is associated with men in Peru. Men are the ones who use them, and well, they are so like talented in and skillful also in using these horses of reed in the sea, and they pretty much surf. They do surf. They also use oars to especially move the direction of the boats. And they use them for fishing. So there is also a space where they deposit the fish inside. And well, that's basically the idea of still even using them nowadays. So this is considered artisanal fishing and is also protected in the country. And here we can see also other natural sites to be considered in the north coast of Peru. In this case, we are moving again quite north to Tumbes, to the mangroves of Tumbes. And the mangroves are, well, these plants also that live from these waters that are pretty much like brackish waters. They have a bit of the fresh water and also salty water. So these sections tend to be like flooded all the time. And what you can do here is seeing, well, besides this very unique flora from this part of the country, and it feels also very tropical there, you can see crocodiles, of Tumbes. Tumbes crocodiles are, well, a variety of crocodile that also you can see in North America. So the crocodiles and also, well, the alligators, they tend to be confused. Crocodiles are the ones that have pointy, like sort of like mouth or heads, right? So they are very, very pointy. And alligators are the ones that have it like a U form, more roundish. That's the difference between them. Okay. And also, to give you an idea of the climate in this part of the country. So we are in a quite big, let's say, territory of the country. So let's start, for example, talking about the climate of well, the Department of La Libertad, taking as an example the climate in Trujillo City, which is the capital of La Libertad, the department at the bottom of this let's say, of the selected section of the country. So the maximum temperature in the year, that's in summertime, is around, let's say, 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. That's about 79 to 82 Fahrenheit. No, so of course it's quite hot in summer. And in, let's say, in the case of the minimum temperature, let's go to the winter in Trujillo. The minimum temperature is between 15 to 16 degrees Celsius. That's about 59 and 61 Fahrenheit. Okay, so the temperature is very pleasant, even much more pleasant than in Lima. Here we tend more to the colder. No? So that's why Trujillo is known as the city of the eternal spring. So it feels like spring all year round. In the case of Tumbes, which is the city, the capital city of the department of Tumbes, also close to Ecuador. Maybe you remember that I mentioned also that section is close to Ecuador. The temperatures, well, still are quite hot, no? So could be 28 degrees Celsius, but the sensation also can be hotter also in the summer days. And in the winter, well, the coldest it gets is about 20, 21 degrees Celsius. That's 68, 70 Fahrenheit. So it's much hotter. There you really don't have any sensation of cold in that part of the country. So this is, by the way, Rio Santa, which is the limit between the department of Ancash in the south and the department of La Libertad, where we start also this exploration. And well, here you can see the river also in a, let's say, normal flow of water within a normal amount of water in the current. But there are times in the year when we have what we know as Niño phenomenon. So let me show you well what happens during the Niño phenomenon. Niño phenomenon is when, to make it in a simple way, the current of El Nino or equatorial current, which is normally like between, let's say, like Ecuador up north to the south of Mexico, for example, or that naturally is in that section always, moves into the territory that naturally belongs to the Humboldt current, the cold current. Also, the hot current or warm current gets into the cold current. So, what happens as a resulting of that is, well, disastrous. Oh, it's terrible because our coast is used to not having rain. And the warm currents, what they produce in the atmosphere, is an increase of the temperature and also the production of rain. So, with this rain that happens not in the Andes as we are used to, it happens right over the coastal cities, over the deserts, over the mud. So what happens is that all of this water that increase the annual rainfall from, let's say, 1 centimeter to 20 centimeters. So that's really terrible. And destroys, well, the economy of the locals because, well, it ruins completely the plantations. And not just that also, and here you can see, because most of these communities live not right next to the rivers. Right next to the rivers usually are the plantation zones, and they know also that when there are Nino phenomena, well, those zones usually float. Also, it's not clever to live right next to the rivers. But also remember that most of these cities in the coast, they are like, well, they are located in flat, low elevations. So when the rivers flow, even though you are far away from the river, but you will be eventually affected, because it's just flat like a pancake, all of that section. And also taking in consideration that rains continue, and in the same location, so everything really flows. So this is what happens, and this is how the cities look like in circumstances like this one. But also a Nino phenomenon, in a way, like historically, and seeing it also as well the natural course of the existence in this part of the world. Nino phenomena have defined the ending of societies and the birth of societies, but and also they have been determinant in the way how well the soil is loaded with minerals. Also, there's a lot of minerals in the soil, and that have also benefited these locations in terms of the richness of the soil. Also, in the north coast of Peru, due to the climate, you will find also productions from like coconut to also cacao, for chocolate, and very good quality for exportation, bananas, mangoes, passion fruits, key limes, and we produce these different products for local consumption and also for international consumption. So these are products of exportation. So, and here I have one more thing, but it's so interesting seeing that also we do have, well, a huge desert. This is one of the biggest deserts in the country, the desert of Sechura. So if you love deserts also, there we have this location, which in the rare occasions of Nino phenomena, the desert covers with water. And that's how also this vegetation appears, because there's water like stuck there, and sometimes we can see little like lakes or lagoons in any case that are formed from the stuck water from the rains. And well, last but not least, so in one side we have the desert of Sechura, and also in another side we have the uh, forest, or bosque forest of Pomac, which is a natural sanctuary. And also that thing you see in the distance, in the big picture, is an archaeological site. Batan Grande is the name of this archaeological zone, and it corresponds also to a great society that we will be talking about also in our next event tomorrow. But this site is a reserve. Every once in a while, pumas even get into this part. So pumas are not just from the Andes. Pumas also descend to the coast, and they have really, really a wide, very open diet preference. So they come here, and well, we have lots of species of birds in this location. This is also a great place for birding, and this forest is the biggest forest in the world that has algarrobos, which is a tree from the desert. So and algarrobos need water, but from the phreatic table. So the roots are go very, very deep. And those trees also are famous in Peru, because from them is extracted a syrup that is known as algarrobina. It's like maple syrup in Canada, for example. We have our own maple syrup that is from algarrobo, and the name of this syrup is algarrobina. We make lots of desserts with it, and even a cocktail known as algarrobina too. Okay, my dear friends, thank you very, very much for being with me today. Also, look at the many, many images we have for the next events, and I want to share with you uh, my medias, my social medias, my mail as well, if you want me to answer any question, or to give you any recommendations, or if you wish to also suggest upcoming events, upcoming titles. So, well, I really hope to have you in the next part of this series. And of course, well, I am always delighted with your company. So, my dear friends, Thanks a lot once again. And also, you'll be able to see this recording here for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow is going to be off and saved in the Patreon. So, if you wish to know like where is the Patreon of your tour guide Vanessa, so I'll post it here. Gracias, Annette. Gracias, querida. Also here in the chat is the Patreon, so you can subscribe. As I said before, they are very flexible tiers for you to become part of this platform and support me, especially. And you have also here, as always, I try to share with you some Facebook groups that you might be interested in seeing and also joining if you're interested in continuing travel virtually. Also, I'm going to share with you three Facebook groups. You are pretty much welcome also to join any of them. And my colleagues are doing virtual tours every day, and they are streaming live from different parts of the world. Actually, my friend Annette, who is here with me in the chat, she also does tours about all Hollywood, glamorous Hollywood. So, well, see you soon to you all, and well, take care. Hope to see you tomorrow. See? Bye bye. Chao. Nos vemos. Gracias. Gracias, Annette. Gracias. Bye bye.